In this video, we're going to go ahead and get our pawn the rest of the way set up with components. So we're going to need a few components: the camera component, the ability system component, the shooter pawn component, and I think that's it for now. So I'm also going to move begin play because begin play is a public function up here with the constructor. So not really sure why it does that kind of stuff by default. But anyhow, we need a U property. So we're going to do the camera first. So we want visible anywhere. We'll do blueprint read only. And we'll give it the category of components. I think I actually spelled that right the first time. So we're going to do a T object pointer. You'll find that we're using smart pointers everywhere of U camera component. And we'll just call it camera component. So let's grab U camera component, and we need to forward declare up here. Likewise, we also are going to need to forward declare the U ability. Actually, let's just do it as we get there, because we need to do a couple things. The other components we actually need to add as dependencies. So let's go to our skg zombies module, or sorry, build.cs. And under the core module, we need to add, we want to add the ability system core up here. We need to add the skg shooter framework, which will allow us to have the shooter pawn component. And we also need to add the gameplay abilities, model view model. We'll do that stuff later, but we need the gameplay abilities one though. So to keep these separate, because these are our own modules, I like keeping the engine ones kind of separate. So under enhance input, we're going to add gameplay abilities, and we're also going to add gameplay tags. So gameplay abilities, gameplay tags, ability system core, and skg shooter framework. Those are the modules that we need. And back in our skg pawn, we can go ahead and add some more components. So we have the camera component. Now we want to add the shooter pawn component. So T object pointer, U skg shooter pawn component, shooter pawn component. And again, we want to forward declare. So we have that, and we also need the ability system component. However, we're not going to be putting that component on the pawn, and I'll explain why once we actually start working with the ability system component. We're going to be putting it on the player state. So we also are going to need to include the ability system interface as well. So let's include ability system interface.h. And same thing, I like having the engine stuff before my custom stuff. So public I ability system interface. And if we look at it, this requires us to override the get ability system component function. So basically what we can do is under begin play, get ability system component. We're going to go ahead and override. And inside of here, to create the definition, all we want to do is basically if the player state is valid. So if player state or get player state. So we have a templated version. So get player state is valid. It's going to be the I ability system interface. Ability system interface equals get player state, wrong button, casted to the I ability system interface. Then we can return the ability system component. But if that's invalid, we just return a null pointer. So basically, get ability system component is returned from get ability system component, just from the player state instead. So I had mentioned we're putting the ability system component on the player state. And the reason for that, I don't have a whole lot of time to explain, so I'll explain it a little more later. But we have the concept of attributes. So attributes are going to be things like our points, our health, uh, ammo in the gun, that kind of stuff. And if the ability system component is on the pawn, let's say we're playing with 4 friends and we go down and we bleed out and die. Our pawn gets destroyed, and at the start of the next round, we respawn. When we respawn, we don't have access to, our previous attributes. We would basically have to write our own logic to save to save our attributes and all that stuff. So, our points, kills, deaths, downs, headshots, that kind of stuff. And then when we spawn and construct our new player, we would basically be reapplying it. Instead of doing that, we just put the ability system component on the player state, which is never going to be destroyed unless, we leave the server. So that's the main reason we're going to be moving it over there. So in order to get access to it from the pawn, we need to first get the player state and get the ability system component from the player state. So we have that. We have, our get ability system component. And that's really all we're worried about at this very moment. We're going to go ahead and add the ability system component to the player state now. So let's go to our player state. And I'm going to copy this U property, save a little bit of time. So we're going to make a new protected section. And inside of here, it's going to be a T object pointer, but it's not going to be the U ability system component. It's going to be the U input ability system component. So we're for declare and call it get, or call it ability system component. So what the input ability system component is basically the ability system core. It's a component in here that we wrote in the gameplay ability system prerequisites series, basically. So it just has its own ability system component that has some helper logic to make things easier, such as when we press a key, activate an ability. So when we press space, we automatically will just call the jump ability. It makes stuff like that really easy to do. So next up, let's create a public section for the constructor. And we actually need to do the same thing in the player pawn. So let's first off create the ability system component. So create default sub-object, U input ability system component, and name it ability system component. From here, we want to set it to replicate. So get is replicated, set is replicated to true, as well as the replication mode. So set replication mode, and it's E gameplay effect replication mode. We want, I believe it to be mixed currently. And I'll end up covering the rest of these, or the 2 other types, in a future video. Right now, we just want the components on our pawn and player state. So with that, let's go ahead and finish up the components on our pawn. So camera and shooter pawn component. So our camera component is going to equal create default sub-object, U camera component, like so. And on this, we want to attach it to the camera socket that is going to be on our pawn's mesh. So camera component, setup attachment, get mesh, which comes with the character class. And we want the socket to be the S underscore camera. Now we haven't made this socket just yet, but we're going to, assuming it doesn't actually exist. I can't remember. And then in a future video, we're going to clean this up and actually put this in a, globally accessible, easy to access spot in case we need to use it elsewhere. So we have our camera component. Now we want our shooter pawn component. So same thing, create default sub-object. That is the wrong type. USKG shooter pawn component. Shooter pawn component. Okay. So like I had mentioned in earlier, I like keeping things separate. So here we're going to have our main like stuff that we've made. Here we're going to have plugins, and then here we're going to have engine content. So like again, I just like keeping them separate, but it's up to you how you want to organize. Okay, so we have our camera component, shooter pawn component, we have our player state with the ability system component. We just need to include or inherit from the ability system interface. So just like we did our pawn, ability system interface.h, public ability system interface, and again, get ability system component. From here, we just simply return the ability system component, and that's it. So let's go ahead and compile, make sure everything's good to go. Alrighty, so it's complaining about the use of a player state, and that's in our pawn. So we need to include the player state. So include game framework player state.h, and now we should be good to go, hopefully, which we are. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead, make our way to the editor, just make sure everything's, good to go. And we can go ahead and quickly make a blueprint pawn that is just going to be in the A pose that we can go ahead and kind of get started with. Okay, once we are in the editor, let's go to our zombies folder, and we're going to create a new folder, and let's call it core. Inside of core, make a new folder called pawns, and here we're going to have our blueprint class, which is going to be the skg pawn. So bp underscore player pawn, and opens up on the wrong screen. But here we have our mesh. We're going to select the mannequin, and it went ahead and actually snapped to the right socket because it does exist, I guess. And drag this down. It looks like -88 is quite close. So we'll leave it there and rotate it by 90 degrees. All right, so there's our player pawn. We can go ahead and close out of the editor once more. And that should be it for this video. So in the next video, we're going to actually finish, and it's going to be relatively quick. I just wanted to have it in a separate video so I could do more time talking and explaining and whining than I could in this video about it. But we're going to cover more in depth of, again, kind of the reasons why to put the ability system component on the player state versus cases where we're going to put it on the player or on the pawn, as well as the remainder of the setup. So covering things like the difference between the avatar actor, the owner actor, and actually how you would, I guess you could say, initialize the ability system component. But yeah, that is going to be all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.